everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining. My name is Mr. Summers, and I'm joined with my friend here, Mr. Jim Johnston. He's very shy, so he just came on for a second, prepare himself emotionally. There he is. Hey, Jim. How you doing?
How's it going?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Pretty good. My tech team's awful, so that's me.
Mine too. This is like I'm used to 3 buttons, and now I've got all these other things to do. And
QWERTY? What? QWERTY? Who? What?
QWERTY?
That's the keyboard. That's a.
Oh, no, I got it. I'm not that daft, but thanks for explaining your jokes.
I usually have to explain my jokes to you, so.
I've been doing some reading since the last year since we hung. Oh man. Oh, nuts. How have you been?
I've been all right. You know, weathering the storm over here in beautiful sunny Calgary today.
Yeah.
Yourself?
I've been good. Just practicing and catching up on all those sleepless nights writing charts. I think it's catching up on something.
Finally caught up. You got a year.
I think that's how it
year.
works. By just doing a year of doing nothing, right?
And we got decades ahead of us, right?
Yeah, I'm getting ready, prepping for the oncoming storm. Oh man, I've got the Facebook feed running over here on the side, and it's delayed, of course, but it's doing automatic closed caption.
Oh, weird.
And it's not really. It's like 80% accurate.
English isn't my first language, so.
It's not very accurate, and it's missing about as many notes as I do when we sight read a tune together. It's maybe it's
50-50, or was it
life imitating art, or art imitating life, or something. I don't know. Yeah, man. So we've known each other a long time.
It's been a really long time.
In a minute. Do you remember where we first met?
I want to say UFC, like in a rehearsal room or something. That's what's coming to my mind, but that could be wrong. My earliest, strongest memories of you were at U of A for the summer jazz camps.
Yeah, I only ever did one, so I must have left an impression.
Oh, I thought it was. You only did one?
I only did one. That was the one. That was when I met Tommy Banks. Was that?
Okay, yeah.
That was right before I went to university. And
nice.
They were great. I only ever did
amazing.
one.
Dominic Spera.
Yeah, Dominic Spera, Grant Manhart, Bobby Stroop.
Yeah, Bob.
A lot of those Edmonton guys, and then the people they brought in from. Was Dominic Spera from Indiana University?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Bob was the first jazz show I ever saw. Like way back in the day, he had a quartet or something at Chaos, and when Chaos had like the booths, so you had to like look over top of.
Yeah, I remember that. I see. My first memory is actually before that. I think we were, because I think we're about the same age.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much the same age.
Pretty much the same, yeah.
73, 74.
Yeah. I think we were roughly, I'm going to say 17 then, maybe 16, 17 at the
16
jam
going on 17?
At the Chaos Cafe.
Okay, cool.
They had those Saturday jams.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was the one. Don't you remember? I was the dork that was terrible and couldn't play trumpet.
Oh, that was me. I thought that was. I remember me being the dork that was terrible, but.
Oh man.
I remember some of those jams being pretty traumatizing at times.
Yeah. But they kind of should be.
Yeah.
We're in that. It's maybe politically incorrect to say, but I mean, I got my butt kicked, but I got my butt kicked musically because I didn't practice. Not that I didn't practice enough, but I didn't have enough experience.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I didn't practice enough, or I didn't start early enough. But I mean, musically, we get our butt kicked even today, right, on stage. It's just part of the process of trying to get better.
Absolutely, it's a process.
Yeah, there's if you acted like a snowflake, if you got your butt kicked and acted like a snowflake, you're done. That was
There were times, definitely. There's
Yeah,
definitely some kind people though too, back in those chaos days.
yeah, absolutely. Um, but I remember once, this is right after university, but I remember once it was kind of right around the first time I met Guido Basso, and Guido was playing in quintet with PJ Perry and rhythm section from out of town, not from Calgary. But Guido invited me up on stage to play,
Yeah.
and um, and he kept asking me to call tunes. Now I had home court advantage because I was the one calling the tunes. He called the tunes
Yeah.
and over, but but the rhythm section didn't know any tunes, and
Oh.
and he was kind of drawing attention to that. So he'd say, "What do you want to play?" And I name a tune, and he'd turn to the rhythm section. Do you know it? And they're like, no, we don't know it. And he was using it to teach them something, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and he
Big
goes,
teaching
okay,
moment.
pick another tune. They don't know that one. And they said, I'd call another tune, and then they go, oh well, and let me see if I know it. Let me see if I know it. And then they open the real book and flip through it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're like, no, I don't know it. It's not in the real book. Well, just because you can read it out of the real book, it doesn't mean you know the tune either, you know. But it was pretty funny. It was, and then so we found a bunch, and I had a lot of fun playing with Guido. And again, I was calling tunes I knew. And then PJ just starts playing rhythm and ning in B, rhythm
Oh.
changes at about 350 BPM.
Ah.
And and then Guido just crushes, and I just got destroyed. It was great.
Single tear.
A very long one. I tried to do something musical, but I didn't. I'm sure. But I mean, we need those. I think we need those
Yeah, we've
situations.
all had those moments.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of, and okay. So then you went. Then you left. You left town.
Yeah, yeah.
And where'd you go?
I toured with a couple of blues bands, and then I went to Toronto to Humber College.
To study.
Yeah, studying music, studying drums. Got to hang with Ted Warren and Don Vickery and Paul DeLong and all sorts of guys out there in Toronto who, again, took turns handing me my butt.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it was a great experience out there. It's a different scene. It's bigger, and there's way more guys. You know what I mean, and when you're in school too, like there were 25 other drummers in my first year at Humber, so it was like 25 practice rooms, like morning, noon, and night.
And the people getting a PhD in meditation are across the hall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, we shared a campus with the funeral service people, and the comedians. So it was a mixed bag on
Comedians
Lakeshore.
were loving that because the jokes were just writing themselves for them. The material was their muse. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
Wow, that's hilarious. So you went there. What were the best things you learned when you were in music school?
Um, the best things I learned. It was, you know what, it kind of, there's a theme this evening. It was kind of one of those, a lot of times it was like just revealing as to how little I knew. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So like, I did something like 85 recordings and I had never really recorded before, right? So there was like, I have recordings, and this last year I've been digging through the basement and just clearing house, and I found a couple of those recordings. I'm like, oh no, these can never come out of the basement, or they need to go into the garburator. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things, like you get done high school and you get into a school that you want to go to, and you figure, all right, I have some experience, and then you go there and you're like, oh, I'm in kindergarten all over again, music kindergarten. So I don't know, it's a perpetual learning curve that way. There's lots of things, like I remember sitting in a room with Paul DeLong and trading fours and just being like, what just happened? Like getting to the end of his four, and like he comes back into a groove, and I'm like, that's where one is. And stuff like that. It's this cumulative, like, experiential thing. Like you're just perpetually, constantly learning, and that's all you're doing. You're talking about music because you're in hanging out with music students, and you're just living, eating, breathing it for the time you're there, right?
I think that's actually one of the you because I've talked a lot about students and students that I've taught where they're looking at going to university,
Yeah,
and some of them, they're trying to figure out which university to go to, or maybe stay in his town that might not have, like we in Calgary, both of the jazz programs were annihilated by budget cuts.
yeah.
Not very short-sighted and very sad. So the program I went through at the university, University of Calgary is gone, and Mount Royal College at the time had a diploma program, a 2-year program, and I think they were trying to get it turned into a full degree right when the board of the school just went, well, we need to make some budget cuts, so let's just cut all arts, all
Yeah.
arts programming and specialty nursing and everything from Mount Royal. But he, because some of them are like, well, why would I go to this music school if all it is teaching is classical, and that's not what I want to do. And I'm like, but still to
Yeah.
be immersed in playing in some classical ensembles, but study privately for all the jazz theory and all the jazz things you need to do, and then go into all other styles of music, anything you want to do in your future, you've kind of got a groundwork for.
Yeah.
And but it's just to be immersed, right? To be around a bunch of people that love music too and want to hear what you have to.
Yeah, it's an environment, and it's I think it's really good for you as for a certain amount of time for it to be as potent as possible for you, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. What's so for a drummer out there,
Yes.
um, if they're a young drummer, or they're kind of like an adult learning drummer, that it's not their profession, or even if it is, what do you think is the most important thing, or the top 3 things for a drummer to work on?
Uh, Time, touch, and songs. I don't know.
Okay.
uh, there's there's chops, like that would be a 4th thing, like, but there's plenty of guys out there who don't have any chops, and they're beautiful musicians, and they still make beautiful music, right? So
Yeah.
if I had a short 3, like, yeah, time, touch, and chops, or time, touch, and songs, like learning how to learn a song really well and fit what you're doing into a song. That's really hard. I mean, I feel like I'm still working on that. And being able to do it fast too. You know what I mean? Like being able to, like, okay, there's 60 songs I need to know 3 days from now. You know what I mean? Like that's a tough call. You know what I mean? So those 3 things are up there, and the touch, just like being able to play the volume and tone and style with your hands that you need to, right? That's a big deal too. A lot of guys, and that, like, there's a lot of guys who shelve themselves. You know what I mean? Like they have like a dynamic shelf that they sound amazing in, and then there's other guys who have bigger ranges. You know what I mean? There's some guys only sound really great down here, quiet. So that's something that I think is really important too. Just having a really broad range of and awareness of touch and tone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've played with a drummer who was a great drummer, great funk rock kind of a drummer, and the music director asked him to do something, and he said, "No, I'm a loud drummer. I play
Yeah,
loud."
yeah,
And we were all flabbergasted. I'm like, "But your boss tells you to do something, you do it." Right? He tells me to play quieter, I play quieter. He tells, no problem. But tell me
yeah.
to play louder, I'll do my best. But yeah, it was interesting. But
So, well, guys make careers out of that, though, right? Like, and usually guys who are shelved like that, like, they get hired to do that.
just that,
That's yeah, you know what I mean. So like, they're redlining. You know what I mean, they're playing from up here, and that's the tone and sound that people love to hear from them. So
yeah, and there is a sound from that, right? And
yeah,
and
yeah,
there's a look to it as well.
yeah,
The especially when people haven't studied music, and it's totally fine, but if they haven't studied music, they look at a musician and they
Yeah.
go, that trumpet player is getting really red-faced. He must be working really hard. Or
Yeah.
that drummer's way up here. He must be really, look at the animal like the Muppet
Yeah.
expressions he's doing. And most of the videos, I think a lot of the videos that have really gone viral there was some guy playing in like behind some wedding. Remember the drummer guy? And he was
The guy who's got yeah. He's actually a speed metal drummer, and he was playing in like a cover band and was just letting loose with all these stick tricks and stuff. I've seen that video. It's awesome,
hilarious.
but it's like you are at the wrong gig, dude. Yeah.
But I mean, when it comes to being a versatile musician,
Yeah.
like I know for me, when I go to hire guys, having a large, I was always taught about a chop bag and having a large, bag to pull from, so that, and the phrase that I started using on myself when I was young and studying and still do, and I do with students now too, is to have a large dynamic range of expression. So that means don't be scared of the upper register of the trumpet or the extremes of your instrument. Learn the extremes, the difficult things, and then learn all the volume ranges. And then you need to learn, for wind instruments to articulate it, all those, so that your touch, is there, and learn all the different styles, learn the language of all the different styles of music as to the best of your ability, and keep learning, because I don't think we'll ever fill that bag. But then you have a lot to pull from when you're actually playing, and if you want to work a lot. And I mean, I like a lot of I like a lot of versatility.
That's a mixed bag, dude. That's why I love playing your gig. It's because I know I'm gonna play 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 different styles in a night, right? So I love
Hopefully not per song. I mean,
Yeah, well, occasionally.
Some of the big suites. Yeah, but it's fun like that, right? To explore all that music. So, well, speaking of that, it's been a lot of years now, but with playing with the CJO and with all that, what do you like about playing with the Calgary Jazz Orchestra, like with the players and just the whole experience as a whole? And what's your role? Like, so where do you come from, and what do you like about it?
Big band's one of those things that I've never really played drums without being in a big band. I mean, like that's how early playing with a full horn section and like a rhythm section was for me. Like grade 7, that's when I started playing drums, and I was in a big band. You know what I mean? I played in a big band all the way through junior high and high school and college. So it's one of those things that, again, like it's a really big vocabulary. There's lots of different eras and styles and stuff like that. And that's what I love about this band. Like, we do shows, and each set really focuses in on like a style or a vibe. And I get to spend however long we have to prepare, like immersing myself in like Duke Ellington, or immersing myself in Harry Connick Jr., or immersing myself, you know what I mean, in any given like zone that a big band kind of fits, and some that are even like pop arrangements and stuff like that. So I love that versatility, and I love playing in different styles. It's kind of like I get to travel, right? Like, and over the last year, that's kind of like has kind of become my focus again, like learning different styles and getting deeper into real like certain areas of vocabulary that way. So that's one of the things I absolutely adore about that band, and then just the camaraderie of all those dudes and dudettes. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of those guys in that band I've known since I was 13, and I never imagined I would get to play in a band regularly with them, right? So it's like, it's one of those things that it's kind of like, I don't know, it just feels right in so many ways that way. The camaraderie and the just the vibe that we have together as friends and as kind of partners in music. I don't know. those are the big things for me: the variety and the camaraderie.
Yeah, me too. Um, uh, there's some comments.
Of course. Don't read the comment section. Don't.
I think we can read this one. Just don't read them about vaccination. Or,
No, don't even say it.
we don't even want to talk about that tonight.
I know.
A moratorium on that. Except I can't wait to get back and play. That's all.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Don Haywood. Hi, Johnny. Hi, Don.
Hey.
John Towell, great trombonist. I feel for anyone caught in the crossfire between Guido and PJ. Thank you. Your story is. I think there's still an imprint in my buttocks.
Yeah.
The thing. Hi, Claudia. Hi, Teresa. Claudia says hi, Jim.
Hello.
So I think that what was the other question? What's your role? What's your role?
My role, right?
Jail. So what, and how do you prepare for it?
I don't know, to really, I mean, like, I conduct with sound, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the conductor. I know there's other guys waving their hands around up there. But, like, if I'm not clean and clear and the clarity isn't there, you know what I mean? Like, or if something Cody has said several times to me, and this will almost always be on before we go on. He's like, Jim, don't ask any questions tonight, man. Only statements. You only say what you mean, right? And
Right.
it's like sometimes I need that reminder, right? Like because the drummer's in charge whether anybody knows it or cares to admit it anyways, right? So that's kind of one of those things that I'm not super comfortable saying or feeling like that, but I know it's true, right? So
And you shouldn't be comfortable with it because you're probably not going to get hired again now because of
yeah. And that's
unfriend. So
took a year off, and I don't know where he went.
It's true. You know how a big band goes together is such an interesting thing, but and of course, you know, I've spent a lot of time listening to all my heroes that have led big bands for so long to try to learn from them and go and see and sit in rehearsals, especially at Jazz and Lincoln Center rehearsals and see how they put it together and learn and how that works with us in our community and our people. And I remember, I hope I can say this, but I remember the first time you came out and started playing with the group, I believe was a tour, and I think it was a Christmas tour.
Yeah, it was Sinatra. Yeah.
Sinatra Christmas. Yeah,
Perfectly Frank. Yeah.
So we were doing our Perfectly Frank Christmas, and I believe we were doing Zachu Santa Claus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I know what's coming.
And I think you asked some questions.
Yeah.
You know, musically at the end, and it doesn't work like that. You just have to be right. And you have to dictate, because if you set up a shot and the whole band, the piano player, the singer, all the horn players, everything is pop, right? And it kind of, you're right in a sense, because I don't have to conduct. And people have said, and that's why I'm a director, not a conductor. I'll conduct if I have to.
Yeah.
Or get one of the guys in the front if there's a section, right? Jerry or Rich. But really, if we open our ears and when we listen to the lead trumpet player, who quite often is J. Michael Ack, and Cody on bass, and if the two of them are locked tight, then you in the rhythm section and piano and guitar can lock with Cody, and the horns can lock with the lead player, or the section leader if the lead trumpet isn't playing, you know, with the leader of the section. But there's a conversation and there's a thing about the solidity of time that a bass player can't do that with. So when we have shots, it's and for anyone, you know, watching, what a lot of the drum chart is there might be a groove or something, and then just essentially like just keep doing that groove and cut some stuff up, have fun, and then on the top of the chart there will be little rhythms. Yeah. And so I didn't create this, but what arrangers will do, and I'll write out for Jim, is this is what all the shots are. But then the more that Jim learns the chart, he might actually, I don't tell him exactly what drums to play very often.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to learn the chart, even though we're reading it and it's written out for him, so that he can express himself and think what he thinks the most musically is the strongest. And so he'll build a section. If I've got a crescendo, it's what he thinks will build the section as far as what he hits. And I give him the rhythms. And then he'll even sometimes add rhythms before, so that he lines up with us, or he knows that instinct, musically, that it's not going to be a big drum solo. It's just little hits.
Yeah.
To pop with the rhythms or with the horns, and that's
those are all stylistic things too, right? Like those are all dependent on the era, and like, are you playing a bassy chart? Are you playing like modern stuff, or I mean, so and the language and the vocabulary changes, right? So you got to listen. You got to find the recordings and go deep and figure out what's happening, right?
Yeah. One of the things I've always right when, because Jim and I have known each other a long time, but like you said, you were out touring and doing blues things, and blues bands and rock bands and stuff. And when we were playing a party band thing, and you came so prepared, and we were really busy, and of course the horn charts are written out. There's not a lot for us to study ahead of time. And I wasn't singing, I was just playing in the horn section, which I love to do when I get to do. And I was amazed at the level of preparation you put to a one-off party band job, where we were playing a lot of pop music from the 90s, I think, and from
early 2000s.
Yeah, I think we did maybe three jobs with that band, and then that band never really did much else. But it was like you put in so much time and effort, and you took the music seriously, and you worked so hard. I was impressed with that, and so I went up and I said, "Hey, do you like playing jazz and still? And do you like playing big band and reading?" And and we started chatting from there. And the first time you came to kind of, you were playing with us a bit, but the first time you really came to play with us, I think a lot, was we'd had something happen, and our drummer was no longer available, that had asked to do the Buddy Rich show with us. He asked to do it, and I said, "Man, I'll only do it if you want to do it, because that's hard. There's some hard music there." And I think we had 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks.
I think it was 5. It was 5 weeks. Yeah.
Do you want to do Buddy Rich in 5 weeks? And you said, "Well, I want to do my best." Yeah. And I remember we were out on tour somewhere, playing somewhere, and you had your V drums, like your electric drums.
Yeah.
Everybody went out for food after the job or something, and you went back to the hotel room with your V drums, put on your headphones, and practiced at like 11 p.m. until whenever you finally passed out.
Till they started knocking on the door.
Yeah, and we're leaving.
Johnston.
9 a.m. And practicing. You're like, I can't go hang out. I have to go practice.
The Buddy Rich show that's something else, man. That's like we took a few runs at like the Channel One. I think I got to play it 3 or 4 times, and like
I think we played it a lot. Oh, you mean like in the rehearsal?
No, just like that year, over the course of that year. You mean like for performances? You know what I mean, like
I think we did it a good 12 times, maybe.
12 times? Really?
Maybe. Oh. Yeah, because we did all the high school tours too.
Man, maybe I just blocked all that out.
I heard.
It hurts.
Do you have any of that Buddy Rich vocabulary in you right now?
I'm sure.
Talk us through it. Play something and talk us through what makes Buddy Rich's language Buddy Rich.
Okay. Buddy. Hey. Oh, this is gonna be. I gotta change my camera here a bit.
Oh, Buddy.
Oh, Buddy. Buddy's all about the snare drum, right? Like, I don't know. Dude, Buddy, really? Okay, here we go. the buddy stuff, man. Come on.
No, I mean, nobody has. We haven't even been able to play together in a year, really. Like we did what, five, 6 gigs when they opened up. We did a string at the Alvin Chess Club, and then
Yeah, we did October. I think that was the last time we played October. So
yeah, and I think I got to do about that many trio or duo things, you know, that were following protocol. But yeah, okay. So while I got you on the kit,
yes,
you've talked to me a lot before about Roy Haynes, which isn't someone that I've studied the music, like his drumming language as much. But after we talked, and after you sent me, Jim is known for these huge playlists. Everyone's got these, like, he's got, sometimes it's a tune. It'll be like 6,400 versions of Stablemates or something. They'll send it to me, and I get addicted to these unreal playlists, right? Or like tunes in 7, and it'll be like 42 songs in 7/4, you know. But you sent me a Roy Haynes one of your favorite Roy Haynes, and it was like so many of them I knew. Like I knew the recordings, right? Like I knew the. So
for me, Roy Haynes is like the embodied history of jazz drumming. Like he's been gigging since the 1940s, and he's, you know what I mean, like, and he's played in every imaginable genre and subgenre and style of band. Like so Roy is like the encyclopedia, like the living great grandfather of jazz to me in so many ways. Like
and play me is there some part of his language or something you've transcribed that's very Roy Haynesian?
His nickname's Snap Crackle, right? So like to me, it's really the way he articulates things is really cool to me, and there's definitely like licks. Let's see if I got something here. He drops bombs like that too. That's one of my favorite things too. He'll just be swinging along, and all of a sudden he'll just drop a bomb at left field, and it just nails the band and just takes the energy to that next level all the time. Man.
Yeah, and he had the musicianship to know when to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's not just like, because I've heard players and played with players sometimes where they do that. They do something that's really crushingly apparent, like a look at me moment almost, but not intended as such. But I've heard some drummers that maybe intended as that, but it's the wrong time.
Yeah.
You know, in the middle of a ballad or something. No, but
it's like comedy, man. It's all about timing.
So beautiful. No, it's
squirrel. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. And I think that there really is something that just shakes everyone up, right?
Yeah.
So hermetically sealed in your playing. You know, but, okay, so who else? Hi, Johnny and Jim from Norm. Hi, Norm.
Hey.
Alex, it's all about the beat, 100%.
Yeah.
If it doesn't groove, no matter what you're playing, you know. Hello from Alex, Patty, Connor, Michelle, and Cole. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Some volunteers from the CJO there, and
nice.
And some former students, some good trumpet players there. Cool. And Richard Harding. Hi, Richard.
Hey, Richard.
Richard's joining us in a few
Sir
weeks.
Richard of Harding.
Sir Richard of Harding. Yeah, I get credit for that nickname.
That's what I miss, Johnny. I miss those jokes.
my terrible jokes.
They're wonderful.
Well, speaking of nicknames, I think I've had quite a few for you through the years.
Yeah, there's been a few. I think I actually have.
Single Jim.
They're down here, man. Every now and then, I look at them.
Man, I want to record that chart, and
we can record that part separately.
Okay, that came about when for everyone watching, there was a chart, if you remember, from the Perfectly Frank Christmas. I think we've done the chart twice,
Yeah.
But it's one of my favorite charts that I've done, and it's the most wonderful time of the year, and it's 5 minutes long, and it took me, gosh, like 180 hours or something to write. Like it was gargantuan. But right at the beginning, I really wanted you to have that swing,
Yeah.
you know, with the, and then it goes right into like, it's the most.
It swings. Yeah. So I had to practice this.
There's a groove too. Yeah.
Then I gotta pick it up later, so you gotta practice picking it up.
You know, man, it's the things that nobody thinks about, you know, when it comes to musicians and the stuff they have to work on. And there's a lot to it, man. There's a lot of things that you never think we're practicing, and you're literally practicing, and you have to practice it without making it jingle. You have to pick it up without
making sound.
Yeah.
Or dropping it.
Yeah. It goes back to the thing. Okay, so drummer wise, who is Rich Harding says you sound great, Jim.
Oh, thanks, Rich. I'm sure you sound really good right now too.
Empty platitude. Ouch.
I don't know.
So
I'm alone in my basement. I've been here for a year.
Yeah. Somebody. We need to get someone over there to let you out from time to time.
Sylvia feeds me.
When he said that, I pictured a slider on the bottom of the door. You know, just food tray comes under. Oh my goodness. Okay, so. And it's been a weird year. Like I've practiced a lot over the last year, but not playing with people. When we did do those hits, it was awkward.
Yeah.
We weren't skilled at it. And one of the things the CJO board that we were talking about was doing a recording in the downtime, you know, like maybe when we're allowed to be in a room and stuff. And I'm like, no, I think we need to go through a season and we'll record next summer.
Yeah.
Because it seems like this great idea. Let's make a record. And maybe for some styles of music it would work, but for live off the floor, full big band, give us a season to get back into shape. You know?
Yeah. There's and it's also, it's not just lack of doing it. There's also just, I kind of feel like even in October I was just like almost like super self-conscious about everything that was happening. I mean, the whole process just felt strange in some way that I couldn't really put my finger on, right? So
I think we all felt that.
Yeah.
And it was it is very strange when, you know, that was really it was strange. It was really fun, and I think it was really musical, and the audience had fun and we had fun, but and we'll get back there, but it was definitely, it felt slightly awkward, just you know.
Kind of like this conversation.
Everything's awkward with you, Jim.
Two-dimensional people are more awkward than three-dimensional people.
It's awkward Johnston on drums tonight, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. So who are your top 3 or 2 or 4 drumming heroes? Who do you want to sound like, or whose sound do you hear in your playing that you attribute to them?
Tony Williams, Jack Jeanette, and then like Roy Haynes or Elvin Jones.
Okay, so Tony Williams, what's the best record that people should go listen to that has Tony Williams on drums, to listen to his drumming that would
there's 2 of them that I really adore. It's the Miles Davis 4 and More. What'd you say?
That's not what I asked. 4 and More, that's a freaking great record. Miles Davis.
Yeah, 4 and More, that live record is just amazing. And Tony's 19 or something like that on that record. And then Fuchsia Swing Song, which is another one that's kind of like obscure, but is just ripping Tony. Like,
that's a Miles record, Fuchsia Swing Song?
No, it's not. It's oh man, now I can't remember who his record it is, Johnny. The name of the record is Fuchsia Swing Song. I can't remember who it is.
So people should check those out. What else should they check out? So Jack DeJohnette, what's the best Jack DeJohnette record to check out?
The Cure, Keith Jarrett, The Cure.
Keith Jarrett, The Cure, with Jack D. Jeanette on drums. Okay.
Yeah,
And
that's what
Alvin Jones, because you talked to me a lot about Alvin over the years.
Yeah, yeah. I think when I was listening to a lot of Alvin when we first started hanging again, Alvin Jones, Love Supreme, Crescent. Crescent is one of those records that I've listened to a million times.
He's the band leader on it?
It's John Coltrane.
Oh, John Coltrane's Crescent. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that one very well.
Oh, it's awesome.
Go listen.
And it's got, for me, that record has like all of the quintessential like Elvinisms in them, like the rolling triplets and this 6/8 like Afro Elvin stuff and all that.
Sweet. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the craziest thing that happened to you with the CJO, with any of the gigs or with the tours or any of the things we've done? What's the craziest?
The craziest thing? Oh, wow. I remember a really crazy snowy drive with Igor one time. That was the scariest thing.
Where were we going?
We were going from a very small town to a very small town. And it was snowy. And Igor was showing me like his favorite jazz videos in his car while he was driving, and I was like, Igor!
Don't try this at home, kids. We don't condone that type of behavior.
No, distracted driving is dangerous. Craziest thing, like on a gig, I'm trying to think. Oh man, there's been so many crazy moments, Johnny. I don't know. I remember one time my stand fell over, like just flat out, ba-boom, in the middle of a song, and like Cody was trying to help me, and I was trying to help me, and then we were all like, it was like I was playing one-handed drums, and Cody was playing one-handed bass, and stupid moments like that. It's like, or I remember one time we were reading the Disney Suite. And we hadn't done it for a long time, and there's a really fast section in it.
Yeah,
and
340.
Yeah, just ripping fast, and it's like out of another time feel. And Cody and I just hit it, hit it, and Cody goes, "Jim, we're doing it! We're doing it!" And I was like, "Yeah, no, be quiet, so we can concentrate, just holding on to it."
I remember that. I wrote. If you didn't see it, people, I wrote a Disney Reimagined for our Disney Reimagined show, and I wrote like a 25-30-minute suite.
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
It was that many pages long too.
It was crazy. And like Igor had like 75 pages or something. With the piano charts, right? And it's because I was working down in LA, and I went to Disneyland, and I loved it. And then we saw one of those night spectacles where they do over the water, and I was like, I was actually hearing all the music associated with the spectacle.
Yeah.
I went, oh yeah, I should totally do this in a jazz style. It's so much work. Yeah, that was. I remember that. I totally remember that. And we were. I remember the theater. I remember what the theater looks like. And
yeah, it was a school show.
Yeah. And they had a nice rounded theater thing, and I remember when Cody was doing that, I started giggling and couldn't play.
Yeah.
I was kind of directing in front and playing my part of it. Yeah. Doing it, Joe, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it, Jim. We're doing it. I can't really do Cody's voice. God. I hope he's not watching.
I hope he is.
I can tell all you at home, one of the funniest things ever was we were before we come out on stage at the hall that we normally do our concert series at, it's a staircase to go down to our dressing rooms and stuff. And so we're in the stairwell and we're waiting to come on, and Igor has very thick Russian accent. I can't tell him what kind of okay, but muscular. So I especially when I'm hanging out with Igor a lot, I can mimic him. And the best thing was Cody started ripping on Igor in Igor's accent really badly, in a really bad Russian accent. And Igor just stares at him, and then he starts talking back at Cody in Cody's voice. Al Muirhead was doubled over on his stairs in his face. And then we hear this, the Calgary Jazz Orchestra, and the door's over, we're trying to walk on, and everyone's giggling and crying. What are we here to do? Music? What's going on?
Where am I?
Oh man. What's one of the funniest, or one of the happiest things that's happened with the CJO for you?
One of my really joyous, like, ecstatic moments is when we played Purple Rain, and with a whole big band, and like it was the easiest, the loudest thing, and the biggest sound that band has ever achieved, and it was just epic. It was like one of those moments of like, yeah, this is it, and I was playing up here like, and it felt so great, and everybody was just into it. It's one of those perfect moments where the audience and the band and everybody involved, everybody within earshot is just energized and just absolutely in that Purple Rain moment. You know what I mean?
Oh man, that got me when we did that.
Yeah,
It's funny because I didn't know that song. I mean, I'd heard it a bit, but I hadn't listened to it a ton previously. But when we were doing the Soul Show, you know how much I agonize over set list and over material we play and how I write it and stuff. And so I wrote the whole Soul Show for our Art of Soul show, which is the second half of our February show. And I wrote the whole show to be, and I remember talking to you about this. I'm like, I'm going to try this thing, and I need everyone to be aware of what I'm doing. Where we started with, I think I had the audience singing, doom, 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 doom. You know, just the standard Stand By Me thing, right? When the night is calm and the land is dark. And I'd sing over, and I had you guys walking in. And we started like as low key and as kind of churchy, homey, community-y as we could. And then I'm like, every single song, the energy level is going to go up. Like and then we went right up to Aretha Franklin's version of Think with a big band.
Yeah.
And then I think we did something after that, and the energy was just like everything was just, you know, vibrating in adrenaline. And then we went into Purple Rain, and I was wondering if it would work. And then we did the whole slow burn of Purple Rain, you know, doing this with the solos and the vocals. And then that whole section at the end, I think was like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was 10 to 12 minutes for sure. Like
just the end of the tune. like, you know, like, and Richard was soloing, and I think I was soloing on flugel. We were going back and forth. And all the background singers were singing the lines too, and the strings were playing, and all the horns, and the rhythm section. You guys were crushing. I remember that. That got me, man. That really got me. There's a guy, a season ticket holder, that came up after, bawling, and ran up on stage and gave me a huge hug right at the end. That was amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and you guys were. Oh man, you guys were killing it. Neil McVeigh was killing it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Neil's epic guitarness.
So musical.
Yeah.
And that was fun. Cool. Well, what's been good about the lockdowns for you? What's the silver lining you've had?
That's a tough question. It's one of those. It's a reset, really. I mean, like, I've reset so many things. Just about like kind of a baseline for what I want out of life. You know what I mean? Like, I really took the time to, like, over this last year to really dig deep and try to figure out what I really want from music and from my family and from Cornerstone and from just everything that's in my life. So it's been a reset. It's been one of those things. Like, the first 3 months was just like near comatose, like that first lockdown. Like, I was just like, didn't know what to do, couldn't really practice, couldn't really get my head around what was going on. You know what I mean? And then I just kind of opened up into like just a contemplative time. You know what I mean? Like we're lucky enough that enough of our students stayed with us, that we survived that first initial hit. And just like rethinking like the way I was chasing certain goals that weren't even really that important or don't seem that important to me now. You know what I mean? Like that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest positive, I think. It's just having been given the time because of how lucky Sylvia and I are, and how privileged we are, to rethink things and reset certain priorities about life. I mean, I've missed a lot of things, you know what I mean? But I've also realized how little certain things actually meant to me. You know what I mean? So it's been an interesting time for sure.
I think it's going to be. We were so busy. We were working and playing everywhere all the time. It was, and it was amazing how often we'd be working on other musical jobs all the time, and so many that you don't have the time to think about those things.
You just put your head down and do the work.
Yeah, especially when most of our, I might be putting words in your mouth, so correct me if I'm wrong, but like being the same age, we look back, you know, having still that mindset of you're right out of university and yes to doing everything, and I need to do everything, and I must do everything. I think that's changed for me.
Yeah.
Not,
I feel very much the same. It's been a reset, and it's changed my priorities. And it's, I think, also like because we're so close in age, and because a lot of our experiences are so close, that we're at that stage of life where we can, like, we're old enough to be just a little bit wise and like have a little bit of to just have that like level of self-awareness and have that much experience under our belts that we're like, okay, well, this is what I was chasing so hard, and I think I can do it in a different way, and it'll mean more to me.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And I think I needed a break from working on a lot of the things I was working on. I've been asked a lot how, like, if I've been working on some big opus or something, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. Like I have some work and some writing work that I'm gonna probably announce on the socials over the next little bit here that I'm really excited about. But I really needed a break. I needed a break from writing and from doing all that. Okay, so just in case anyone doesn't know, you and Sylvia are the owners, proprietors of Cornerstone Music Cafe. Can you tell me just a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. We are a small local cafe and music school. My wife is an amazing chef and also an amazing entrepreneur, and I'm a musician. And I worked in a couple of kitchens. And I like teaching drums, and we have got a bunch of students and a bunch of teachers that we are lucky enough that they've held on through this year with us, and really made the best of this year with us.
And you said when we were talking a few weeks ago that you actually grew, like you actually got some more.
We're just back at the point where I feel like we're growing. Yeah,
that's amazing. So people can take
like a whole year of.
Yeah. So they can they can contact and get drum lessons from you online.
Yeah,
and they can learn to play drums at any level.
Absolutely. Right now, I have my broadest age range and experience range of teaching. I'm teaching like a 4-year-old, and I'm also teaching a 76-year-old, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And that's all
I wanted to learn to play drums. You know, that's so cool, man.
Yeah, he's played his whole life. He's just like I want to up my game. You know what I mean? It's like, sure, let's do this. It's super cool, man.
Okay, so what's your website? Cornerstone Music Cafe.
Cornerstonemusic.ca. Yeah.
Cornerstonemusic.ca.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna we're getting to the end here, so I want to I'm gonna ask you some questions. You just have to answer them as quick as you can.
Oh, lightning round.
What's the most useless talent that you have?
I can flare my nostrils. I don't see the point in that.
What would you name a boat if you had a boat?
Oh, let's see here. I would probably hold a contest online to see
Nobody cares.
Mr. McBoatyface.
Jimmy McBoatface?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, that's your new nickname for next season. Ladies and gentlemen, on the drums is Jimmy McBoatface.
To the Price is Right.
Okay. What is the best and worst purchase you've ever made?
The best purchase? Actually, these drums that I have right here are one of the best purchases I ever made. I built, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago, I put the money together for a big shell pack, and they're custom drums, they're DW drums, and I got 5 toms and 3 snares and 3 bass drums, and they're all different sizes and depths and stuff, so I mix and match it for whatever the gig is, right? So I think that's the best purchase I've ever made. The worst purchase, oh wow. There was this scam in Toronto where there's when there's a poster on a pole for like a telephone pole, and it's got little tabs on it. You take the tab and then you call the number, and it was all about finding locations for movie shoots. So they show up to your house and they give you you remember when the disposable cameras?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they give you a disposable camera, and then you pay to be a movie set finder. So you give them $75, they give you this camera, and you're 20, and you're like, wait a second. That was the worst purchase I ever made.
That's amazing. Did you
I was like, this seems like I walk around the city all the time. I see cool things.
Do you still have the pictures?
Yeah, somewhere, dude. I think I do.
Your BS detector was not working,
No, it was.
That's where they're gonna go. They're gonna put a sign on a television.
I'm gonna be really good at this.
That's where Hollywood advertises. I got a part for you too. Wow, that sucks. Well, at least you're probably your awareness level went up before you got the CRA.
Yeah, it's been a couple of decades. Yeah.
Okay, so if you could know the absolute and total truth to one question, what would it be?
Oh wow. Dude, that's a heavy question.
You're a deep thinker, so.
Fanboy science fiction guy in me just wants to know if there's actually life on other planets. I mean, that's if I could have that question answered in my lifetime, I'd be like, okay, that made things worthwhile. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah, you are a big space fan. Like I said, I love your posts from NASA and everything. Like it's so fascinating. Yeah.
I've always been a science fiction nerd, and always read history of science and philosophy of science and all that. The stupid thing is I'm terrible at math, right? So I like reading about science more than I like doing science. But
so compound times are a thing for you.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. If you had to change your name, you have to change your name.
Yes.
What would your new name be, and why would you choose that name?
What would my new name be? Johnny, this is a loaded question. This is what they call a loaded question. I don't know, dude. Come on, like a different name. I got a good name. I don't know. I would Skeletor, He-Man, Mr. T face.
You're a product of the 80s, my friend.
I don't know, dude.
He-Man, Mr. T.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
your
know.
nickname next year. That's your name. We have Jim Skeletor on the drums, ladies and gentlemen.
I wanted to make Skeletor like Eddie's my son's middle name, but Sylvia just would not let me.
What?
Yeah.
Why not?
She's the sober second body in this family.
Yeah, I think she revoked your artistic license on that one. Well, that's cool. So, so signing off, anyone that wants to get involved in drum lessons and stuff, contact you at cornerstonemusic.ca.
We've got 30 other teachers. We can teach you anything.
Cool. I want to learn hang gliding.
I'm on it.
Online. I want to learn hang gliding online. Is there anyone that teaches hang gliding classes online?
No! Stop!
What? Man. Okay. So we as far as I know, and talking with the board and looking at things that are coming up.
Yeah.
We will get back to the live from the studio things that we're doing here, where we're recording live and making records, and we want to have you out on some of those. So we have those to look forward to. I know that there's some small group stuff that will start coming up. But as far as getting everybody together, the CJO is hopeful and planning to do the Perfectly Frank Christmas. So that'll be the first kind of time we get back. Yeah. So I don't know what that looks like. If we have to do half capacity, we could do that. We might have to charge double price for tickets, or we might have to
triple even.
Yeah, make all the friends. Hey, they can do it with our gas prices and our jazz prices. So, or we might we've thought of doing same price for tickets, but doing 1 hour concerts, like 1 hour shows. So we do 4 of them in a row, so we can clear the room out if we have to. These are things that have come up before, but that's kind of what we're looking at. So,
cool, dude.
Yeah, we want to start.
I look forward to the day I get to hang with you and those crazy fellas in that band again, man.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. And I think we'll have a whole new appreciation for what we get to do when we get to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any advice for anyone? Any young musicians out there?
Don't do unscripted interviews on
with me.
Online, live to Facebook. I don't know.
Oh man. Okay. So I just want to see if there are any questions here before we sign off. Don't want to miss. No. Someone says you sound great. That's about it.
Cool.
And I can't wait. Rich Harding says I can't wait to play again with you in the CJO. Us too, Rich.
Yeah. Ditto.
Great hearing you guys chat tonight. Thanks, Rob. Hi, Rob. Andrew says, I want to learn the nostril thing. I think I'll have a flair for it.
Oh! Why is that guy so nosy?
Oh, hey-oh. Oh man. All right. And I'm gonna go check out you told John Coltrane Crescent, right? That was the record.
Yeah, Crescent, man.
I don't know that. I don't even think I said I don't know it well. I don't think I've ever heard it, so I'm gonna go check.
Oh, dude, it's quintessential for me. It's one of those things.
That's a big word. I'm impressed.
Thanks. I looked it up just before this interview. Squeeze it in there. I bet Sylvia $50. I could squeeze it in.
Earned it from phonics. That's great. Cool. Do you have any questions? How are you?
Oh man, I just want to get back playing again. I hope everybody takes care of themselves, and I hope everybody does the right thing, and just take care of each other the best you can.
Yeah. Exactly. We're not talking about it much, but
no.
But as soon as everyone gets that second thing.
Yeah.
We hit 70%. I can't even remember, something like that.
70 to 90, somewhere ballpark.
Once it's a few weeks after everybody getting that second one, then we start putting on shows again.
Yeah, man.
Start doing the big things. And, you know, I'm missing theater, live theater. I want to go to a play so bad. I just really do. I want to go to live music for sure. But I feel like I've missed so many plays that I wanted to go see at Theatre Calgary and at ATP and some of the incredible things here. And even when I'm traveling, so I want to go to a play. I want to go to live music, and I want to go to the movie theater. That was what we would always do, to just be like, I'd be exhausted. I could come home to town, and we would just, the two of us would just sneak away. Like, I just got home, and it's like, but let's leave right now and catch that new whatever. And get some.
Not the two of us.
No, never. Socialize with you. But we have gone. I don't think you've ever, when we've all gotten together for movies, like musicians, I don't think you've come out to those, have you?
Yeah, a few.
Yeah, you're right. It's hard to remember, but what we have done a ton of is bowling.
Yeah.
I'm really bad. Richard Harding was really good. I'm really
bad. So that's a wasted youth right there. That's
Richard Harding and his misspent youth. You young kids hanging out in all those bowling halls. Oh my gosh, you're gonna grow up to be saxophone players if you don't be careful. Oh gosh, awesome, man. Well, great to chat with you, man. Great to connect.
Great to chat with you too, man.
Everybody watching tonight, and the video will be on Facebook, and we'll put it up on YouTube. And I think I don't know how to do the whole, what's that whole thing? What do they call them? Podcasts. I listen to them. You listen to tons of them.
I love podcasts. Yeah.
So we'll throw these up on podcasts and stuff too. And I don't know, I think that's about it. So the next week who's next week? I should know this.
It's me again. It's
every week, every Friday, all Friday. We'll invite everybody to come on the show, but you'll only need the gym.
You just keep saying yes.
I mean, I signed them up for them all. So we have, over the summer, we have all of the Calgary Jazz Orchestra peoples. And next week is Richard Harding, and the following week is Cody Hutchinson. So we'll hear Rich play some and chat with Rich, and that'll be fun. And thanks so much for joining me tonight, Jim.
Thanks for having me, Johnny. Look forward to seeing you guys again.
Yeah, man. You too. Talk to you later.